After seeing Phelps protesting at Matthew's funeral, and then hearing that he's coming back to Laramie for the trial of Russell Henderson, I decided that someone needs to stand toe-to-toe with him and show the difference.
Some people are gonna be sent to hell! And I think you know who you are. And we wouldn't be here if this was just another murder that the state was going to handle. The state handles hundreds of murders. This murder is different because the gays...
He's not even from Laramie. He just travels around the country doing these demonstrations.
Gay lifestyle.
So we're planning an event. We're calling it Angel Action. This 21-year-old little lesbian is gonna walk the line with him.
Spare not! You lift up your voice like a trumpet! And you show my people their transgressions!
We are sending the message of God!
God's anger is pure. That God is going to send someone to hell! That's God's anger! Now we wouldn't be here! Matthew Shepard, what he did was a sin.
As soon as they started jury selection, everyone was coming into my shop with, "I don't want to be on this trial. I hope they don't call me," or, "Oh my God, I got called. How do I get off?" Just wanting to get as far away from it as they could. Very fearful that they were going to have to be part of that jury. And then I heard Henderson had to sit in the courtroom while they questioned prospective jurors. And one of the questions they asked was, "Would you be willing to put this person to death?" And I understand a lot of the comments were, "Yes, I would. Absolutely. Yep, no problem." Well, can you imagine hearing that? Juror after juror after juror. These are people that he knows. No wonder he changed his plea.
You entered a not guilty plea earlier, Mr. Henderson. But I understand you wish to change your plea today?
Yes, sir.
You understand that the recommended sentence here is 2 life sentences?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand that those may run concurrently or they may run consecutively?
Yes, sir.
Before the court makes that decision, I understand that there are statements to be made by at least one individual. Let's proceed with that.
As the grandmother and the person who raised Russell, along with my family, we have written the following statement. Our hearts ache for the pain and suffering that the Shepards have went through. We have prayed for your family since the very beginning. Many times throughout the day, I have thought about Matt, and you will continue to be in our thoughts and prayers as we know that your pain will never go away. You have showed such mercy, and we are so grateful that you are giving us all the opportunity to live. Your Honor, we, as a family, hope that as you sentence Russell, that you will do it concurrently for 2 life terms. For the Russell we know and love, we humbly plead, Your Honor, to not take Russell completely out of our lives forever.
Mr. and Mrs. Shepard, There is not a moment that goes by that I don't see what happened that night. I know what I did was very wrong, and I regret greatly what I did. You have my greatest sympathies for what happened. I hope that one day you will be able to find it in your hearts to forgive me.
Mr. Henderson, this court does not believe that you really feel any true remorse for your part in this matter. And I wondered whether you fully realize the gravity of what you have done. You drove the vehicle that took Matthew Shepard to his death. You bound him to that fence in order that he might be more savagely beaten and in order that he might not escape to tell his tale. You left him out there for 18 hours, perhaps having an opportunity to save his life, and you did nothing. As to count 3, that being felony murder with robbery, you are to serve a period of imprisonment for the term of your natural life. For count 1, kidnapping, that you are to serve a period of imprisonment for the term of your natural life. Sentencing for count 1 to run consecutive to sentencing for count 3.
After this sentencing, the Mormon Church decided to excommunicate Russell. Now, he's got a Mormon home teacher that visits him in prison every week.
So now nobody from the church is gonna go visit him?
Not supposed to. They're not supposed to pray for him. He'll just sort of disappear.
Stop, kid, please, look over here!
Mrs. Kaufman,
What happened that night? We need to know. This town needs to know.
I need some more light on them.
I'll never get tired of this play.
Yeah, well, try directing it 50 times. You can relax. Just keep the umbrellas up.
So I hear you're doing Angels in America next year.
We have an obligation to reach our students. And the question is, how do you reach a whole state where there's such deep-seated hostility toward gays? How do you reach them? Angels in America is just the beginning. And guess who's auditioning for the lead?
My parents, right? They're like, hey, so what plays are they doing at school this year? Oh, let's see, Angels in America. Wait. Angels in America, isn't that play? It's that scene, yeah. So you're gonna audition for this? And I said, yeah, I am. Huge argument, right? It was like this huge argument. My mom was like, homosexuality is a sin, homosexuality is a sin, homosexuality is a sin. But the best thing, right? The best thing that I knew that I had on it, right? Was this, they had just seen me, it was right before this, they just seen me on stage in Macbeth, right? I like murdered like this little kid and Lady Macduff and like these 2 other guys, right? I'm like, Mom. I just played a murderer tonight and you didn't seem to have any problem with that.
So when's the audition?
Tuesday. Yeah, but I tell you, man, I have never prepared myself for an audition like this in my life. Never. Not even close.
You know, everybody second guesses what you're doing. You know, you get a lot of heavy criticism. You did everything wrong. You are not supposed to touch anybody unless you have your gloves on and protective gear. Or then they make you out to be some kind of, you know, big hero. You don't know, some Joe Blow down the block. You could have done a better job than I did. People do extraordinary things every day. I think this has really brought home to my girls what their mom does for a living.
is the decision of the county's attorney's office that this will definitely be tried as a death penalty case. That's all I have.
How can I protest if the Shepards want McKinney dead? I just can't interfere in that. But on a personal level, I knew Aaron in grade school. He wasn't called Aaron, we called him AJ. How can we put AJ McKinney to death?
I think right now, our most important teachers must be Russell Henderson and Aaron McKinney. They have to be our teachers. How did you learn? What did we do as a society to teach you that? See, I don't know if many people will let them be their teacher. I think it would be wonderful if the judge said, in addition to the sentence, you must tell your story. You must tell your story.
This is a tape recording of the confession given by Aaron James McKinney to me as detective in charge of the investigation. This confession was recorded 2 days after the attack. So, you guys go to the fireside, right?
Yeah.
And where do you go after you leave the fireside?
Some kid wanted to ride home.
So what's he look like?
Like a queer?
He looks like a queer.
Yeah, like a fag, you know?
Okay, so how'd you meet him?
Fag? Queer guy? We were meeting at the bar. He asked us what we were drinking and what we were doing.
Okay, so what happened after you met him?
He wanted to ride home, and I just thought, well, the dude's drunk, let's just take him home.
When did you and Russ talk about jacking him up?
Kind of talked about it at the bar.
Okay. Tell me what happened next.
Drove him out past Walmart. And we got over there, and he starts grabbing my leg and grabbing my genitals, and I was like, look, I'm not a fucking faggot. If you touch me again, you're gonna get it. I don't know what the hell he was trying to do, but I beat him up pretty bad. I think I killed him.
What'd you hit him with?
Blacked out. My fist, my pistol, butt of the gun. I wondered what happened to me. I had a few beers, and I don't know. It's like I could see what was going on, but I don't know. It was like somebody else was doing it.
What was the first thing that he said or that he did inside the truck that made you want to hit him?
Well, he put his hand on my leg and slid his hand like he was gonna grab my balls.
When that defense team argued that McKinney did what he did because Matthew made a pass at him, I just wanted to vomit. Because that's like saying it's okay.
It was disgusting. And we were all just disgusted. It was like just rude. Rude, and that was less than integrous behavior. And we were all just disgusted by that quality of defense.
It's like the Twinkie defense when the guy killed Harvey Milk in Moscone. It's the same thing.
As much as a part of me didn't want the defense of them saying that it was a gay bashing or gay panic, a part of me was really grateful. Because I was really afraid that in this trial they were going to try and say that it was a robbery or it was about drugs. So when they used gay panic as the defense, I thought, this is good. Because if nothing else, the truth is going to come out. The truth is going to be told.
So about how many times did you hit him in the truck before you guys stopped, before you left him?
I shot him 2 or 3 times. Probably 3 times with my fist and about 6 times with the pistol.
Did he ask you to stop?
Well, yeah, he was getting the shit kicked out of him.
What'd he say?
After he asked me to stop, most all he was doing was screaming.
Was Matthew conscious while Russell was tying him to the fence?
Yeah. I told him to turn around and don't look at my license plate number because I was scared he would tell the police. And then I asked him what my license plate said. He read it, and that's why I hit him a few more times.
Just to be sure.
My secret hope was that they were from somewhere else. That then you can create this distance. We don't grow children like that here. Well, it's pretty clear we do grow children like that here.
So obviously you don't like gay people.
No, I don't.
Would you say you hate them?
No, I really don't hate them, but You know, when they start coming on to me and stuff like that, I get pretty aggravated.
So you've been approached by gay people before?
No, not really.
Did he threaten you?
This gay dude?
Yeah.
No.
Can you answer me one thing? Why did you guys take his shoes?
I don't know. I'm never gonna get to see my son again?
I don't know.
He's gonna die for sure?
There's no doubt that Mr. Shepard is going to die.
So what are they gonna give me, 25 to life? Or the death penalty and just get it over with?
That's not our job. That's the job of the judge and the jury.
Now, the strange thing is, 20 minutes before Matthew was brought in, Aaron McKinney, one of the perpetrators, was brought in by his girlfriend.
Wait, McKinney was here?
Yeah. I guess he went back into town later that same night and got in a fight. And so there's Aaron on one bed in my ER, and just a few beds down is Matthew. And 2 days later, I found out the connection.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
I was very struck. There were two kids. They were both my patients, but they were two kids. I took care of both of them, took care of both their bodies. And I felt a great deal of compassion for both of them.
We, the jury, impaneled and sworn to try the above entitled cause, after having well and truly tried the matter, unanimously find as follows. As to the charge of kidnapping, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty. As to the charge of felony murder, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty.
The jury returns to the courthouse today to start considering the punishment, a phase of the trial that will probably last until next week.
I am working with McKinney, counseling him. I don't think he can conceptualize the gravity of something like capital punishment, but you know I'm going to be praying like the Dickens tonight that we don't have to go through this next phase. I don't know if you believe in the power of prayer, but would you do this for me? Would you just say from time to time, Lord, I lift him up to you? Just do that for me.
Of course, Father.
The sentencing phase of McKinney's trial was to begin momentarily. However, now we are hearing that Judy and Dennis Shepard have been approached by McKinney's defense team, who pled for their client's life. We understand Mr. Shepard may approach the court this morning.
My son, Matthew, did not look like a winner. He was rather uncoordinated and wore braces from the age of 13 until the day he died. However, in his all too brief life, he proved that he was a winner. On October 6th, 1998, my son tried to show the world that he could win again. On October 12th, 1998, my firstborn son and my hero lost. On October 12th, 1998, my firstborn son and my hero died. 50 days before his 22nd birthday. I keep wondering the same thing that I did when I first saw him in the hospital. What would he have become? How could he have changed his piece of the world to make it better? Matt officially died in a hospital in Fort Collins, Colorado. He actually died on the outskirts of Laramie. Tied to a fence. You, Mr. McKinney, with your friend, Mr. Henderson, left him there by himself. But he was not alone. There were his lifelong friends with him. Friends that he had grown up with. You're probably wondering who these friends were. First, he had the beautiful night sky and the same stars and moon we used to see through a telescope. Then he had the daylight and the sun to shine on him. And through it all, he was breathing in the scent of the pine trees from the snowy range. He heard the wind, the ever-present Wyoming wind, for the last time. He had one more friend with him. He had God. And I feel better knowing he wasn't alone. Matt's beating, hospitalization, and funeral focused worldwide attention on hate. Good is coming out of evil. People have said enough is enough. I miss my son, but I am proud to be able to say that he was my son. Judy has been quoted as being against the death penalty. It has been stated that Matt was against the death penalty. Both of these statements are wrong. I, too, believe in the death penalty. I would like nothing better than to see you die, Mr. McKinney. However, this is the time to begin the healing process. To show mercy to someone who refused to show any mercy. Mr. McKinney, I am going to grant you life. As hard as it is to do so, because of Matthew. Every time you celebrate Christmas, a birthday, the 4th of July, remember that Matt isn't. Every time you wake up in your prison cell, remember you had the opportunity and the ability to stop your actions that night. You robbed me of something very precious, and I will never forgive you for that. Mr. McKinney, I give you life in the memory of someone who no longer lives. May you have a long life, and may you thank Matthew every day for it. Thank you very much.
Mr. McKinney, you will be remanded to the custody of the Albany County Sheriff's Department, pending transportation to the state penitentiary. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this matter.
When you think of this town, you can see something else than just a crime and understand why we love it so much.
I think I'm just really glad that it's over.
No, I really am. Testifying in this trial has been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my entire life. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the stage. I'm a natural for it. I love it. But the actual testifying is really, really difficult. You know, because what you have is you have the lawyers who are asking you questions. So you have questions that are coming at you in this avenue, but then you have to funnel them over towards the jury. So you funnel them over there, and what you end up with is, basically you have a funneling system, right?
After taking the ATZ for 6 months, I was able to get a DNA test. And it was about a week later, that's when I found out that I was negative for good.
Oh, wow, thank God. That's great.
I tell you, we were all on our knees saying Hail Marys.
Yeah, you know, you're just so elated. You're really happy.
So what's the first thing she does?
I stuck my tongue right in my husband's mouth.
Well, what about your daughters?
Oh, man, the girls, they just bawled.
They were just so happy.
In the force.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we went out and got shit-faced. I just kissed everybody who came through that door.
Reggie, they don't need to know that.
You know what? If it was a male or a female, I didn't care. I kissed him right on the lips.
What part of what I just said did you not understand?
Mom, I have already kissed him.
It's not clear to me, having known Matthew, what story he would want told about this. We won't fully understand what happened here until time has had a chance to filter that out for us. What happened here, the culture that caused this, the complex set of events leading up to it, it would have been like us trying to stop a tank.
Change is not an easy thing, and I don't think people were up to it here. They got what they wanted. Those two boys got what they deserve, and we look good now. You know, it's been over a year since Matthew Shepard died, and they haven't passed shit in Wyoming. They haven't passed it at a state level, any town, anybody, anywhere has passed any kind of laws. Anti-discrimination laws or hate crime legislation. Nobody has passed anything anywhere. What's come out of it? What's come out of it that's concrete and lasting?
The dead will be commemorated, and will struggle on with the living. And we are not going away. We won't die secret deaths anymore. The world only spins forward. We will be citizens. The time has come. Bye now.
Have you ever gone out to the fence?
Mm-hmm. I drove up to the site in my limousine. And, see, I remembered something to myself. The night he and I drove around together, he said, Laramie sparkles, doesn't it? And where he was in that spot up there, if you sit exactly in that spot up there, Laramie sparkles from there. Over the low-lying clouds, it's the blue lights that's bouncing off the clouds from the airport. And it goes tss, 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 over the whole city. I mean, it blows you away. And Matt was right there in that spot. And I could just picture, in his eyes, I can picture what he was seeing. And the last thing that he saw on this earth was the sparkling lights of Laramie, Wyoming.